Hi, and welcome to another continuation of the 3D modeling of this Scuba Shark character. In this tutorial, I'm just going to go over a quick toggle feature again to just re-emphasize and show you how to design the mouth on this guy. So you can see I've gotten pretty far on this. He's very close to done. And I wanted to show you just a real good feature to know how to use on and off for creating this mouth. You can see for the most part I've done this symmetrically on both sides of the head. Just to kind of re-clarify that, you can see whatever I do on one side I'll do to the other side. But at this point I want to create this mouth, and that's obviously not symmetrical. So the easiest way to switch between symmetrical and not is just pressing X on your keyboard, and you can see it toggles it off so that when I do something on one side it doesn't do it on the other. And then if you want it back on again, just press X again and it turns it back on. So for this particular feature now, I'm going to have X off on this object, and I'm going to create the teeth first. I'm actually just going to grab one of these eyes and duplicate it and use that as kind of the starting point for the teeth, because it's pretty easy to manipulate a sphere, make it how you want it. Alright. Let me bounce back to my drawing here. You can see it's pretty exaggerated up angle. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm creating these teeth. Nothing has to be perfect right off the bat. Just kind of keep working at it till it starts looking like what you want it to look like. Because you can always tweak it a little more as you're going along. I'm trying to get the angle more than anything to start, and then I can go ahead and adjust the teeth shape specifically. Looks like he's got a mustache at the moment. Alright. I think I still need a little more angle up this way. Starting to look better. Then I'm just gonna, this is out pretty far, so I'm gonna just use my deformation here and move it into the face a little bit more. And again, when you're creating things that become 3D printed prototypes, you want to make sure that you're emphasizing your features a little bit more than you normally would if they were just a 3D model that never left the screen. Alright. I think that's a good start. And I'm going to create the lips around it at this point, and then I can manipulate the teeth a bit more. Let's see here though. I think I'm going to make it a little wider though, across his face. I'll just use this sizing tool here in deformation to kind of widen it. And then I'll just move it into place a little bit more here. Alright. Starting to look pretty good. Let me see. It's pretty high up. The top corner of the lip here is like just lined up to like just underneath the center of the eye. So I want to make sure that this is high enough on the face before I start adjusting it. Before I start creating the lips. And then when I brought that up, it kind of sunk it into the face a little bit more. So I'm just going to take it, pull it out of the face a smidge more. Let me see if that's looking good. That's looking pretty good. I may try skewing this slightly. Moving it slightly again. Alright, it's all about kind of tweaking as you go, taking the time necessary to do a great job. If it was easy or fast, then everybody would be doing it. Just want to make sure I get enough of the general shape kind of defined right so that when I go to do the lips, I'm not having any issues. All right. I feel pretty good about that. So I'm just kind of moving the top area back a bit on the teeth because the lip goes over it, but it's not defined all that much in the drawing, so I don't want the upper lip to be pushed out too far. All right. I think that's pretty good to start defining the face, the lips. So again, I click back using Alt on the head shape, and I'm going to use Inflate for this. And again, just using X, make sure you're not on symmetrical. I think there's a little corner of the mouth, showing right there. So I'll make sure that I have that going on. And I'll be smoothing this out a little bit. That's looking not too bad. Let's get that lower lip in there. Let me bring up the intensity a little bit while I do that lower lip. That's a little bit high. This is going to look better too once I define those teeth a little bit more. Alright. Then what I'll do is go ahead and remesh this. I'm just going to increase the geometry just a smidge before I do that. And smooth this out a little bit. Smooth this upper lip out a little bit. And I can start defining it a bit more. What I'm probably going to do is be bouncing between the teeth and the lips back and forth as I refine things. Really want to try to get that angle to show up well, the little snarl angle. And that's going to take a little bit of tweaking and refining. And as you can see, it kind of helps as I'm going along to move around the figure as you're defining it, because then you can see the various angles of how that's going to look when it's made into an actual figurine. It's looking a little bit better. Get this little corner of the mouth kind of tweaked. And I'll go in there with the slash tool in a second and cut a defined line. Alright, I think I need to bounce back to the teeth. Try to define those a little bit more. But I think I need to move this whole thing up a smidge. I think it's coming out of the face a little much too. So I'm going to push that back as well. All right. And just remember, don't give yourself too hard of a time about how long faces take, because that's the most important aspect of your figure. And those expressions and how they come across is a key aspect to the appeal of a figurine and the success of a toy line. All right. Starting to get it. Starting to look good. I think what I need to do to really start defining this a bit more is to get in here with the slash tool. Start refining that divide between the teeth. All right. A lot of times using the Inflate tool will help you kind of define those divisions between objects even more. Starting to look like a set of teeth here. Not too much to say here other than keep tweaking till you have it how you like it. And I think we're almost there on the teeth. You can see I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with this. And there we go. That pretty much gets you an idea of how to finish out a face like that with features that aren't symmetrical. Another key is sometimes you can build out features that are symmetrical, but then go back in there and adjust them. Use the move tool or whatnot to make them less symmetrical after you've kind of built them out for the most part. So I'll go through here still and define this a little bit more. I'll try to get a little more of an edge here on the lower lip using the slash tool. I'll be cutting underneath of there like so to try to emphasize that lip shape. And then I'll be using that same slash to go in here and then just put a last bit of refinement on that corner of the lip and this corner a bit. And I'll just be moving this lip shape just a little bit at a time until I get it exactly where I want it. And the great thing is, if you have anything you need to do that's symmetrical again, you can go back and do that. Like for me, I still have to cut this line across the head here for the division between the two colors. And I can go ahead and press X on the keyboard to bounce back to that symmetry and cut that across like so. And then I can go back in there, and if it's not, it doesn't need to be completely symmetrical, I can turn off X and kind of move this down a little bit and move this side up a little bit to give it a real natural feel kind of across there. That's pretty much it for this particular tutorial. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.